Hello, friends, and happy Friday. My apologies. The audio is going to be bad right out of the chute. I was going to say right out of the boot. That doesn't make sense. We'll live with it. Happy Friday. I have Haunted Bookshop in the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli, as is tradition. My camera looks particularly tilted tonight. I don't care. It's great to see so many folks have already assembled here, and I just messed everything up, and I'm not going to be able to. Oh, there we go. Yes, so many folks have assembled here. Oh, it's one of them days, I tell you, one of them days. So far we got Phil Rivera riding shotgun. Good to see you, Phil. There's my buddy Poem, Gary Edminster, Chris Weber, Patrick Grant, Temper Tantrum. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Been a while. Hope all is well with you. There's Yornik, aka Kate. Good to see you tonight, Kate. Smarty Bob, finally thawing out a little bit. Happy for that, Bob. There's Bona Piper. Hello, Christian. John's Pipe Journey. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. Big Dave. Are we caught up? Uh-oh, Yornik's other half has got a cold. Sorry to hear that. Woe is you indeed. But hey, at least you got some pipe smokers to hang out with, right, Kate? Hope he's feeling better soon, though. Backcountry Pipe, hello, Mark. And Jeffrey Feinberg, howdy to you, sir. Bill Rivera, question is, are those still in there? Oh, no, Phil, those are actually pipes I restored. They're not pipes I made, and they're not stolen imagery. In fact, a lot of them are pipes that I restored for people that are watching this live stream right now. I know at least two people can vouch for them, maybe three. Where are we at? Big Dave, I think I said hello to already. There's Algonquin Briar, Flint Hill Briar, David Bookshop, Grass on Wheels, good evening to you. You people with these names that make me put my glasses on. It is Rats on Wheels, okay. Rats on Wheels 1:4, but John Brett, how you doing, John? Bob Kraus. Man, a lot of folks showing tonight. Paul Rupp. Temper Tantrum's been lurking. Well, I'm glad to know that, buddy. Okay, KGB, I got you. I'll try to remember that. There's Doug Owen. Hello, Doug. Lord Hogarth. Good evening to you, sir. I think we're caught up. James Steidle. I think I missed you. All right, now I think we're caught up. Man, you guys got to stop showing up so early. No, don't do that, because then I sit here and panic that nobody's going to show up. Like a little kid. Richie B. Yeah, a little kid worried that nobody's going to come to his birthday party. Nobody ever came to my birthday party. I don't think I ever had a birthday party. I mean, I had birthday parties, but I never had like a invite all your friends kind of birthday party. I just didn't do that kind of stuff when I was a kid. Nor did my friends. At least they didn't tell me if they did. Huh. Might have just unlocked a deep, dark part of my past. Yeah. Beowulf and Miss Kathy. Hey, how you guys doing? Staying warm indeed. You're used to folks standing on their head. Yeah, good point. Good point. Chris Coate has got Pegasus up in Michigan. Good to see you, Chris. And there's the Smooth Piper. Hello, Peter. Patrick's got some of that low country natural Virginia Burley going in his 673 KS. I'm doing a comedian bit, Richie. Oh, God help us all. Anyone that's been here for Stupid Joke Night knows that's not a good idea. I got a beverage, Patrick. I just haven't gotten it out yet. Patrick likes it when I drink. 1956 didn't have birthday parties. Yeah, 1966 here, John. So yeah, maybe they're a more recent invention. I mean, certainly nothing like I see in movies where kids have like clowns and ponies and stuff. I mean, that's just crazy to me. tonight's drink, no surprise. I bought 12 of them. I gotta drink them. You see that? I don't need no stinking opener because it's a twist on. Yeah. So today was an interesting day. I'm driving home from work yesterday, and I called my wife as I'm walking out to the car, and it's raining. And I live about 15 to 20 minutes from where I work. And I said, oh, gee, the snow turned to rain because it was snowing earlier, but it's like snow showers. And she said, oh, no, I'm going to have to go out and sweep off the patio or whatever. And I said, no, that's crazy. It's raining. It's just leave it be. And she said, no, it's snowing. And I said, oh, just leave it alone. I'll take care of it. So I drive home, and all the way home, rain, clear sidewalks, turn up like the street that I turn up to be on my house. And as soon as I turn up that street, I slide. And the road's icy. There's snow on the sidewalks just on that block, which happens to be the block I live on. So it just like, I decided to be extra wintry here for me. Oh, KGB's finished her bread. Okay. I'm sorry, Kate. I'll stop doing that. I know it's going to get annoying fast. Clowns and ponies sounds like DC. Yes, indeed, Richie. Gary's got some black coffee and the Peterson house pipe with vanilla custard. And Doug Owen just got his 8 tins of C&D Firebird Flake. I haven't even bothered to figure out what Firebird Flake is yet. I keep seeing ads for it. Armchair Piper. Hello there, Ed. Good to see you. And there's Millennial Codger. Good evening. So anyway, I figured, well, certainly this is going to, end. And of course, it accumulated to just enough snow that if you didn't do something with it, it was going to be a problem. So I had to go out and do something. And it wasn't enough to run the big snow thrower, but I've got my wife's goofy little battery-powered thing that I hate. But I ran that around this morning, and now it's apparently going to be 40 tomorrow, so I probably didn't need to do it. Yeah. But that's not why today was an interesting day. Today was an interesting day because I started working about 7:30 this morning. I worked from home, and I didn't quit until about 5:30, quarter to 6 tonight, trying to do one thing, and I failed, and I'm really mad at myself about it because it was one of these things where I thought, I will not bore you with details, but I thought it was going to be easy. I thought I was going to be able to get this done in about 2 hours yesterday. So I put it off till today, and, all that time, and I still haven't made progress on it. That's okay. Long weekend this week. Monday is Martin Luther King Day. Is that what they call it? Martin Luther King Day? Martin Luther King Jr. Day? So it's the day to commemorate Martin Luther King Jr. So I've got 3 days to catch up before I have to get back to it. And by catch up, I mean stay sane. Comic with a storm cloud hanging over indeed, Richie, yes. Going to be cold there next week, Couch. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, we're apparently going to get, I think they said 3 to 4 inches of snow on Sunday, and on Monday it's going to be 1 degree. So that should be interesting. One degree above 0 Fahrenheit. Not just some random degree. 1 degree above 0. Sorry, I've been thinking about math all day. I realize my accomplishment for today is the answer should be a number. I won't bore you with it beyond that. It should be a number. And I realized that what I managed to do today was prove that the number lies somewhere between 0 and infinity. So, hey, at least I know it's not negative. Second season of Severance started. That's hard to say. John wants to know what I do for a living. Not a whole heck of a lot, John. No, I'm a scientist, and these days I manage other scientists and mostly deal with data analysis, statistical analysis of data, things like that. Yes, Paul, I do remember that from the Labner. Yeah. There are folks like that, and sometimes I feel like that for sure. Rain cloud over my head. Tuesday, below freezing and snow emergency. Oh my goodness. Ken Byron hot mug. Interesting couch. I'm going to be having some of that Ken Byron in the second half tonight. How long have I been smoking, Chris? Well, I stopped counting. Over 30 years. Trying to even remember a landmark year so I can count it up for you. So I moved to Pittsburgh in '89. And at that point, I was smoking the occasional cigar. Hadn't yet started with pipes. Firebird is a very unusual combination of red Virginia Turkish and a small amount of dark-fired Kentucky. Ah, pretty cool, Doug. Sounds interesting. You want to get affiliated, Ronnie? With a pipe and a... I didn't understand that, to be honest. I'm going to go back, Ronnie, because that confused me. Lighting the pipe and the bug, hoping not to get affiliated with the bug. What is the bug, Ronnie? Did I miss something? Rassel and Wheels. Sure, I have thoughts of the LA fires. Other than them being fires, I don't know. A lot of strange stuff going on. Gary has been smoking for 57 years. Gary, that's amazing. That is just amazing. Oh, you don't want to get poisoned by exhaust. Oh, the bug is the bug. I got you now, Ronnie. Okay. It's a VW bug. White Knuckle MTB. How many bowls do you smoke a day? I hope you mean bowls. It varies depending on what day it is. Like working from home today, I probably had about 6. If I'm driving a lot or fishing or something like that, it might be up to 8. If I'm working, actually going into work, I might only have 3. It just depends on what I'm doing. John's pipe journey has been smoking a pipe for 2 years exactly this month. Very cool. Patrick Grant since 2009, cigar since 97. Submachine could be a lot of work there, Kate. I could see that. Tamper Tantrum's got some McClellan honeydew going. Nice. Well, that was nice of you, Doug. Always good to have another guy get interested in pipes and carving and such. So Ed's been smoking 55 years. Good you kicked that habit, Kate. They're less enjoyable and not as good for you. Codger Jim, 62 years. There you go. So what am I? Let's see. So if we're going to count like cigars and stuff, I'll say 89. So that's 36 years. 30, yeah, 36 years, I think. Couch has been going since 2011. James Steidle, Captain Black Premium Edition, Midnight Gold, and a Missouri Meerschaum Ozark Mountain Hardwood. Very nice, James. Captain Black Premium Edition, Midnight Gold. I did not know that Captain Black had gone so crazy with their names there. I guess after Captain Black Grape, they had it rebound somehow. Smarty Bob started in September of '66. I was less than a year old, Bob. Sorry. Peter's been smoking 27 years. The Smooth Piper. And Mark is conflicted on what to smoke tonight. Chris Kahn, 20-year hiatus after college, and then started again. Huh. Very nice. Paragon Piper since '83, so he's got me beat by 6 years. Yeah, Doug, you gotta be careful with what you buy there. So happy to point him in the right direction. Jeremy Reeves has a video about the Firebird Flake. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. How many pipes are in my rotation on a regular basis? I don't know how many pipes I have. I don't really have a rotation. I just sort of walk up to the pipes and say, oh, I'll take this one today. So I can't really answer you, but there's, I usually go through a couple a week. Cigarettes serve their purpose. Okay, there you go. See, it doesn't work for guys. We got to buy puppies for that. Yeah, when you're used to inhaling, it's really tough, Russ. Papa Bear started in October of 2006. Oh, can't keep up. October of 2006, quit in December of 2006. Started again in August of 2018, quit in January 2019. You gotta go a little longer there. Third attempt, started December 2021. Okay, you gotta go in now, Papa Bear. Richie B since 2019. Learned a lot from matches and mutton chop. I don't know, Doug. I'm sure you're rather wise looking. And I know I pointed this out to you before, Doug, but that was the same year I started in a different way. Doug and I started the same year. He started smoking a pipe, and I just started. Paul Johnson since 2007. Started dipping Copenhagen in high school, but gave it up 25 years. Yeah, that's bad stuff. That's bad stuff. I mean, I tried it occasionally, and I got to admit, it kind of, as much as I don't have any nicotine effect from smoking pipes and cigars, that hit me. I could feel that. I could see how that can be very addictive. I hope I'm going to go fishing in the spring there, Jeff. We shall see. Finally have a rotation. We have a different pipe every day of the week. Nice. Nice, Chris. That's not bad after 2 years. And I think I've said this before, but I for a lot of the time that I've been smoking a pipe, I only had about 10 or 12 pipes for a really long time. It's only in the past 10 years maybe that my, I almost said the C word, my gathering has exploded. Oh, there you go, Paul. So Paul smoked a pipe until he was 17 and then moved over to cigarettes for 22 years. Wow. Quit for 40 years and took up the pipe again. How about that? If you tried Redmond Chew when you were 8, Paragon, you probably got sick. Millennial Cadre on and off since 2003. Maybe that is what he meant, Doug, but you certainly wouldn't want to look like that. Ah, Cadre Jim asking, what was your first tobacco? His was Middleton Cherry. Thankfully, he found other tobaccos. Yes. My first was Captain Black White Pouch, and I smoked that for a long time. Now, I tell that story about going into the pipe shop in Pittsburgh. I've told it a million times, but you know, when I tell it, I sort of say Captain Black, and then immediately I switched over to Number 10 Downing Street. But the truth is, I dabbled a lot in between those two with a lot of over-the-counter blends, and that's where I learned about Carter Hall and Sugar Barrel and things like that. So it wasn't that I was exclusively smoking Captain Black, but Captain Black's what I reached for. I'm sure it was awful, Paragon. Chris Webber, a murder of crows, a gaggle of geese, a pack of dogs, and a gathering of pipes. We previously established that gathering is the word coined by my wife to describe that large number of pipes I have that is most definitely not a collection. Oh, did Tom tear his knee? I didn't know about that, Gary. I hope he's doing well. Ah, your dad smoked Middleton Cherry. Well, you know, Millennial Cadre, they were different times, and back then people pretty much picked a blend and stuck with it, or picked a brand and stuck with it. You know, if I was probably 10 years older, I'd probably still be smoking Captain Black. That's just what you did. Oh, Kate, I'm sure you get some looks when you light up the pipe. That is funny. Top water bass on, oh man, that'll be fun. That will be fun. Patrick Grant started with lane 1Q, and you kept going. My goodness. Chain smoking marbles since the age of 9, and he's now 80 and still going. Wow, Paul, that is an amazing story. A 1,000 pipes. That's amazing, Doug. Couch's first tin was Dunhill 965. Smoked Englishes until he ran into matches, and now that switched him to Burley. Isn't that interesting? Craig Tarler's the guy that switched me to Burley. I never in a million years would have thought that I was a Burley smoker, but he convinced me to try some blends. One of them was Haunted Bookshop, and here I am. Very severe. Oh gosh, Doug, I'm so sorry to hear that. I missed that video. Well, if you do see him or talk to him, give him our best. Yes, David Lynch passed away. Yeah. A couple of people passed away this week. My brother usually updates me. There was one just today. It was an English actress. I'm gonna look it up. Joan Plowright. Ed's admitted to 400 pipes. Triple-digit pipe gathering is a special place to be, indeed, Russ. Yeah, I have to admit I've never been a big David Lynch fan. Although David Lynch did direct the original Dune movie, didn't he? And Bob Uecker, that was the other one, Chris. Thank you. Yes. Both Chris's. First house blend for Paul Johnson was Liberty Tobacconist Peaches and Cream, and his first tin was Frogmorton Cellar. Can't get much different than those, huh? So he did the 1984 Dune. I actually like that movie. I haven't seen the newer versions of Dune because I thought, what's the point? I thought that the 84 Dune was a good movie. It was weird, but it's a weird book, Couch. You know, it was an experience. I thought it was, you know, it was worth watching. It was different. The story was unique to begin with, and he did a unique job of bringing it to the screen. I really like that movie. Yeah, you got to wonder with names like that, Doug. You ever want to have fun? Ask a German person about their name. I've always enjoyed that because some German names are so obviously related to an occupation. You know, you meet somebody and their last name's Schumacher, and you say, oh, so somebody in your family was a shoemaker, and they just give you this puzzled look like they had never considered that before, and then say, no, it is just a name. And I've had this happen with a lot of German people, so I enjoy doing that. It seems very specific to the German mentality. Watched the first episode of Twin Peaks just the other night, and then David Lynch died. So it's your fault, Flynn. They made a Dune TV series? Mark, if you've read the book and enjoyed it, I really think the David Lynch one is worth watching. That's another thing. I read the original Dune, the first book before I saw that movie, like long before I saw that movie. So um, maybe that influenced me too. There you go, Chris. Every village has a Weber or Weaver. I think Peaches and Cream was a group like Peaches and Herb Phil. I just don't know if it was the same Peaches. All we need is a couple of Grand Slams. Yeah, Euchre was something. Or Kate, maybe your ancestors were painters that specialized. Welsh Piper, you're not late. You're just in time. Got to drive to London. Well, drive safely. Oh, it's a prequel. Okay, Phil. I don't think I'm going to watch it because I just don't want to. I so enjoyed the David Lynch movie that I don't want anything to spoil that for me. That's why I haven't watched the newer versions. I also only read two, maybe three of the books because they got a little strange after the first one. Oh, now wait a minute, Kate. That might actually get me to watch it. Christopher Walken's in it. That might just change my mind. Ras Dune was written by a guy named Frank Herbert. Was the third book where it got wacky? So that's probably the one that I stopped on. I read most of it, but I don't know if I ever finished it. Or Doug, maybe those were the people that everybody was owing to. It's a possibility. Red Morrison's asking, did I ever go deeper into science fiction? Uh, I mean, I read some science fiction. I've read Arthur C. Clarke and oh, who's the other guy that wrote all the books? I'm blanking on names. I've read some science fiction. I can't say that I was a huge science fiction reader. Who's the guy with the law of robotics? No, Couch, no. Stanislav Lem? Lem. I will take a look for that, Kate. That's right, Millennial Codger. Star Trek did indeed lead to Star Wars. We wouldn't have Star Wars if it wasn't for Star Trek. Asimov, thank you. And Heinlein. Heinlein is the law of robotics guy. Asimov was the other guy I was trying to think of. This is I can never remember the numbers. It's the Matches Memorial Pipe, Welsh Piper. Whatever that is. It is a lucite stem. $673KS. Thank you, Patrick. It's terrible that I have to have you guys remind me of that every week. I should put a little sticker on the computer monitor here so I don't feel so embarrassed. No, I thought the law of robotics was Heinlein, Patrick. I didn't think that was Asimov. Asimov had creative block. It was the worst 5 minutes. It was, yeah, that man could pump out books. Stephen King, I went through a phase where I really liked Stephen King, and then it just suddenly didn't work anymore for me. And it's not that I didn't like read them in order or anything. It's not that he changed. It's just that my taste just I went off a cliff with him. I They were just boring and repetitive. But he does an excellent job of sort of creating that world where everything happens in it, and I really appreciated that for a long time. So the thing that I'm criticizing him for was, I think, one of his greatest strengths. I'm not trying to be critical of him. I'm just saying that for me, it just stopped working for some reason. Law of Robotics was Asimov. Okay, I'm completely wrong. Sleepy Piper Todd checking in on a work break. Good to see you, Todd. Whiskey and milk is best prepared. Whiskey and milk? Why don't you just drink whiskey and give the milk to kids or something? Why would you do that to yourself? I could put a sticky note on it, Doug. Or I could just write on the stem with a Sharpie 673. That might help. Old Stanwell pipes are fine pipes, Paul. Just ask Armchair Piper. He's got quite the collection of old Stanwells. Very nice pipes. I've read some Verne, probably 3 or 4 Jules Verne, and 1 or 2 H.G. Wells. I find Wells to be a bit harder to read for whatever reason. Why would you do that to yourself? I assume you're talking about the whiskey and milk, Rice, because I have no idea. This pipe is pretty much out. I'm gonna give it one more chance. Never saw Night Flyer, Doug. He definitely could do creepy. And those New Englanders have no choice, Doug. It's not their fault. Backcountry Pipe, on the other hand, he does have a choice, and he chose wrong. There you go. Armchair Piper, 119 Stanwells. He says he kind of likes them. Whiskey and milk ruins both drinks. Indeed it does, Doug. "20,000 Leagues Under the Sea" is a good one, yes. "Journey to the Center of the Earth" is another good one. I am done with this pipe. Take a short break and drink some of my beer, so I don't have to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. Isn't a whiskey and milk called an Irish heifer? I hope that's a joke. Whiskey is okay and milk isn't, says Kate. Yes. I have gone back and forth on milk. Went through a period where I really liked it. And like if we went out to, even like out to dinner, I would drink milk. And then I just didn't anymore. I have had beer milkshakes, Mom. So I have to admit that I have done the alcohol and milk thing. Not something I would do again, but I have had them. Highland was very prolific, Paul. Peter's been watching John Ford movies. Yes, he was an awesome director, Peter. That is complicated, Kate. Star Trek spawned the flip phone with their communicators. I'm thinking about getting a flip phone. Well, weren't those canned juices something, Richie? Yeah, I don't know, Paragon. I know people drink White Russians. I just. Red Morrison going with Morley's Best and hoping his wife doesn't smell it. That's how I feel with every time I even think about smoking Crooner. There we go. Ras thinks he brought his last Zippo today. Yeah, you'll say that again after you buy number 22. Yeah, Bailey's Irish Cream. I just don't get it, Gary. I don't know. It's kind of like that chicken and tomato thing. They just don't go together for me. Neither do dairy and alcohol. Paul Johnson's asking, what's the reason most European pipes sold are filtered? And I think that's because most European pipe smokers like filters. I think. Not all of them, but an awful lot of them. Pipe number 2. A J. Mouton billiard with a really nice mount. I love that mount for the stem. Not a military mount, but it looks like one. And it breaks away quite easily, so it's easy to, sometimes you want to get a pipe cleaner in there, and you can do that with this pipe, although you shouldn't. Anyway, that's my pipe, number 2. And guess what we're going to be smoking? It's the tobacco of the month. Chosen by you, Samson and Delilah. Thank you, Couch. N. Byron Ventures, Samson, which is a Turkish leaf, Virginia, and Cavendish. And I'll tell you, I've had quite a few bowls of this since we chose it. And I'm liking it. I'm really liking it. I gotta say, most of what I've had from Ken Byron has been, you know, that's interesting. I'm glad I tried it, and this is the first blend I've had where I thought, yeah, I'd buy more of this. Now, I wouldn't go out of my way for it, but if I, was at a pipe show and I saw it, I'd probably grab it. It's very interesting, and my impressions of it have changed since the first night that I had it here. Because if you recall, I said that it was very Oriental forward, and the pouch note was very Fig Newton-y. I still get that, but there's a sweetness to the pouch note. And what this is reminding me of now, and I don't know if you're going to get this, but this reminds me of an old-time aromatic. Doesn't taste like that, but the smell, the pouch note. When I'd walk into that tobacconist in Pittsburgh, the first tobacconist that I ever visited, and I would lift up the jars on the aromatic blends, this is what I smelled. I don't know what that means. There might be a slight topping on this or a light topping on this. It certainly doesn't come through in the taste, but it definitely has that smell to it. It's interesting. Well, the truth is, Poem, and I got a whole series on filters and stuff. I tried every filter and tried to find out if any of them did anything. And for me, all the filters did was reduce the flavor. It's not healthier for you. You're just getting less smoke in your mouth. And if what you're going for is flavor, then smoke less. You're just wasting tobacco. You're burning it to no effect. So if you want to have a health benefit, smoke less. If you want to, now there are people that say their body chemistry and everything, they can't smoke unless they got a filter. That's different. But if you're doing it for health reasons, I don't think there's any real convincing evidence that a filter is going to be healthy. Yeah, Doug, I think that's part of what my problem is. I mean, I got enough Irish in me that I don't want to get smacked silly. And you're right, that would happen. Electric Boogaloo? I never called it that, Kate, but I guess the pipe has a name now. The Turkish Oriental, whatever Samson is on this, still comes through quite a bit. But I was words are not my friend tonight. I was comparing it to Oriental Silk, I believe, from Cornell and Deal, and or was it Orion's Arrow? I can never remember which of those, but one of those is very much a Virginia Oriental blend, and I think it's a little bit less Virginia forward now than it was that first night. Swig of a martini after a puff is a wonderful filter. There you go, Lord Hildreth. And Simon uses it to quell time. There are folks that swear that they just can't smoke a pipe without a filter because it bites so badly. And you know, there is different body chemistry and all that. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong, you know? You're enjoying, you're doing it right, and that's what it all comes down to. But I do worry about people that think it's got some health benefit, because the last thing in the world I want is for somebody to think that their pipe smoking is healthy. You know, that they're not in any way doing something unhealthy. Because let's face it, it is an unhealthy habit, no matter how you do it. And just because you put a filter in doesn't magically make it healthy. Yeah, Oriental silk is nice stuff, Richie. I don't know if I've ever had it that aged though. That must be really good. There you go, Peter. Decaf coffee's a good comparator. Yeah, but it's easier for you to say because you're South African, Kate, because I don't think most of us can get that. Smoking a pipe has improved your memory, John? That's interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of people that have bite issues, it really comes down to cadence, their backcountry pipes, so that makes sense. And I've said this before, I think the best tool to develop cadence is to take a pipe out and walk with it. Um, that's how I learned my cadence. You know, for years I smoked a pipe walking back and forth to work, and uh, you just can't puff too fast or too slow when you do that. If you go too slow, the pipe goes out. If you go too fast, you know, it takes too long. You gotta stop and reload it, and it just really trained me, I think. So Ken Byron hot mug is a good light aromatic, says Couch. Sounds nice, Couch. Out in the garage with my dear girl Ilva, huh? Is there a replacement for a Nimrod Comanche striking wheel? I don't know, David. I don't think I've ever seen a supplier for those, but one thing you could do is just look for another Comanche and make sure your spring is uh, not compressed. Sometimes the problem is not that there's anything wrong with the striking wheel. I mean, you can look at the striking wheel and see if it's smooth. You can clean it off with a brass brush and some WD-40 or even some lighter fluid. Um, and if it's smooth, then obviously you're going to need a new one. But if it's not, it might just be that the flint's not being pushed up enough by that spring. Paul's asking, how's the dogs? The dogs are fine. They're doing well. Isabel sprained something the other day. She was limping around for a while. And it's so funny. She's limping around the house. And I'm like, oh, you poor dog. And then something happens in the yard and they want to go out. And she just goes leaping off the patio and trotting across the yard like nothing's wrong. And as soon as she gets back in the house, she starts the limping, you know. But she's fine today. It was just, she must have just twisted funny and maybe slipped on some ice or something. That's a good example, Paragon. So yeah, if you're having a specific reaction like that to a specific type of leaf, it probably is a chemical thing. And it would make sense that a carbon filter would help with that, you know. Dry Fly Fisher 11, good evening to you. Couch, I hate to say this, buddy, but I think Clan bites everybody. Clan is a deceptively evil little blend. It's got really good qualities to it, and it's got really bad qualities to it, right side by side. But it's one of those blends where if you haven't tried it, you really should. Just for the experience. Everybody should have Clan at least once. Clan, the feisty chihuahua of tobaccos. There you go. Clan kin into friendship, Gouch. No, I wouldn't say Condor is anything like Clan, Paul. I don't know, honestly, I don't even know what's in Clan. It's a very complicated blend. It's, you know, people joke that it's the floor sweepings from the factory, and it kind of is like that. It's very, very complex. It's got lots and lots of stuff in it. You know, one minute it's a lot of Kia blend, and the next minute it's a Burley, and but yeah, it burns hot. Paragon, unfortunately, I don't think anybody can get Condor anymore. Didn't they stop making Condor? Oh goodness, Doug, Clan and Aaron Moore, that could turn you off pipes, yes. Clan will change your life, Couch, yes. There you go, Chris. So there's a couple of leaves in that. Chris Webber looked up Clan, Black Cavendish, Burley, Cavendish, Kentucky, Maryland, Oriental, Turkish, Perique, and Virginia. Just about every leaf you can imagine. Oh, is it just the long cut that they stopped, Mark? Okay. Bad Company Piper UK says Plan was the first tobacco he smoked in '73, and it has 16 different tobaccos in the blend. Oh, Kate, I'm not going to go there. But yeah, probably. Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker. So Sarge is stocking up on Mixture 79, huh? I have a few tubs. I might hang on to them and make a killing someday. Chris Webber is quoting the reviews of Clan, saying it has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. It is a tobacco dreamed up by a cigarette smoker. Not a blend for the myelinated folks. It's often said that over-the-counter blends rely heavily on casing for effect and flavor. In Clan, the casing is napalm and the flavor is fire. Galleth just released a licorice blend on smoking pipes, and it's way better than 79. I like 79, and not because of the licorice. I get a lot of vanilla, almost like a root beer flavor out of it. I didn't even know they made a TV show, Kate. But yeah, that's, at least it's got a message, right? Oh, I got the joke, Eric. I was just playing along. 79 was what you Hefner smoked, Rick. And I think we all knew it was just a matter of time when Hef died that they were going to stop selling it because he was he was probably about 50% of their market. They apparently kept a tub in every room, and all of the playmates were taught how to pack his pipe. Match the number of bunnies in his hutch. I didn't know that, Doug. I don't know if Sinatra. I don't know about that one, Richie. No, Richie, they really did pack his pipe. No entendre, double or otherwise. I don't know if I could watch the show, Kate. I remember the movie being a bit scarring. Uh, it was an unusual movie. I know you are, Richie. Oh, Samoy. Good stuff. Patrick says Sinatra did smoke 79. Okay. Well, Doug, he was a man who knew what he liked, you know. The Smooth Piper's finished his haunted bookshop and he's loading up Sutliff's Scottish Conclave in his Rossi Luca pot-shaped saddle stem pipe. You know, Ras, until you commented, I didn't get what Poem was saying there. Milski. And he's on his second one. Oh my goodness. Oh, Poem. You're putting me off two beverages at once. You know, I don't usually mind the dark and grim, but there was something about that one that just, I don't know. It just felt dark and grim for the sake of entertainment. I think that's what I want to say about that. I'd have to give it more thought, but it didn't sit well with me. That's one of the amazing things about Haunted Bookshop, Mark. It definitely is drier than most tobaccos. This is true of a lot of Cornell Indian blends. But for some reason, they don't burn hot. And I don't know if that's because of the quality of the leaf or the flavor profile makes you smoke it slower. I don't know, but I noticed that with quite a few Cornell Indian blends. Ah, Doug. Palm, did you see what Doug just did there? Yeah, Richie, apparently it's the theme for the night. Gratuitously dark and grim. It wasn't just gratuitous. And in fact, I would say it wasn't gratuitous. I mean, it actually did move the plot along at times, but I don't know. It was just a little too twisted for me. Also, there was some very disturbing giant blue nudity in it, which was a little hard to see. Ron Hardcrackers, yes, I suppose eggnog would count, wouldn't it? Yeah, Paul, I kind of remember that. I've got these blending tobaccos I've been trying to use up, and the idea being I was going to try to mimic Haunted Bookshop. And yeah, it just never quite tastes the same. Yeah. Now you feel odd, Poem? Oh, oh, poor Poem. Doug was mean to him. is, is that what his degree was in, Kate? Yes. Now that was gratuitous. I'll use that word there. Bludity. Good one, Richie. I'll tell you a funny story about that movie, though. And if you haven't seen The Watchmen, you're not going to get this. It's and for the love of God, don't go watch it because of this, because I don't want you to do that. Uh, I went to see it with some friends. I think can't quite remember, but I'm pretty certain I went to see it with at least one friend, and it was okay. You know, I came home and like I said, it didn't quite sit well with me, but it wasn't a terrible movie or anything. And I was pretty excited about it when it came out. And my wife asked me how it was, and I said, yeah, it was good. You know, I didn't really go into any detail. So she went to Pittsburgh the following week to visit her mom and dad. And while she was there, her mom, who, 80 something, early 80s at this point, decides she wants to go to a movie. And they says, oh, I heard this is good. So she took her mom to see The Watchmen. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Paragon. Yeah, I don't know if I ever want to try to like buy stuff to blend it. It's just that I've got these blending tobaccos that I'm trying to get through. But I appreciate that. Okay, Euronic, so the things that I'm disturbed by might have been just what they were doing to be true to the comic book then. I don't think that could happen, Dryfly Fisher 11. I don't think it's possible. Um, the reason being is I just think there's too much diversity in pipe smokers for there to be just one blend. But it's an interesting theoretical question. So Dryfly Fisher 11's asking if the tobacco industry shrank down to just one single blend, what would it be? And Captain Black Grape is off the table. So interesting question. I do like Five Brothers, Paul. It's a little tricky to smoke. You have to really pack the heck out of it. It's a rare blend that you want to pack as tight as you can. Otherwise, it'll burn like stuff that burns really fast. Um, but it's nice. It's a nice burly blend. Doesn't Four Noggins have a blend that's close to Haunted Bookshop? The Weybridge is kind of like Haunted Bookshop's little cousin. Patrick's giving me my time signal here. Time does fly, Patrick. It does indeed. 9:16, okay. We got 14 minutes. And we got that much beer to drink. So Backcountry Pipe is saying Captain Black White. It's available everywhere. Yeah, but see, that's one of the blends where if tomorrow I woke up and they said everything's gone except Captain Black White, I would say, well, I'll smoke what I've got here and then I'll put away the pipes. I just can't smoke. Or I'd start growing burley. Because I got the seeds thanks to Temper Tantrum. Weeds from the backyard. Yes, I think so, Paul. Armchair Piper's voting for philosopher from Tinderbox. That's what you would want it to be, Ed. I don't know if that's what it would be, though. Central Cal, it's the thing I've been smoking daily for a very long time. You know, Haunted Bookshop and Carter Hall for a long time were my main go-tos. And this is going all the way back to, like I said earlier, Craig Tarler convinced me. I was a English smoker, and I called. You had to call Cornell and get an order at the time. So this is going way back. And I told him, you know, I had picked out these 5 blends in a sampler pack, and they were all English blends because I wanted to get something like Number 10 Downing Street. And he said, okay, you know, those are some good choices, but let me ask you what you like about them and stuff. And he talked to me for a good 30-40 minutes and convinced me to add a couple of burleys. And one of them was Haunted Bookshop, and I never looked back from there. So that one conversation really changed me. Yeah, and Doug, you're probably right about that. I mean, if it was purely based on profits, Lane 1Q would, I mean, it's the best-selling bulk blend, right? And the best-selling non-bulk blend is Captain Black, which is Lane 1Q. So, you know, and that's because that's what most pipe smokers smoke. You know, that's just the economics of it. Oh, there you go, John Brett. They do know how to look for sympathy, don't they? So, in terms of what tobacco would survive, it would probably be a tobacco that most of us wouldn't like. Uh, and such is life. Fortunately, that's probably not going to happen too soon. Infringinator, how you doing? Haven't seen Timber Drifter tonight. He might be lurking. What was Lee Van Cleef's blend, Armchair? I've never tried Danish Pipe Shop's brown sugar flake, Bum. Sounds interesting. Thank you, Phil. Yeah, do all that good stuff. Hit the like button and subscribe and hit the bell and all that stuff. Not for me, for the community. It helps the YouTube algorithm find other pipe smokers, and that's important. He was a nice man, Backcountry Pipe. I'm glad you had that experience. I haven't met anybody else that I know a lot of people had the experience, but I haven't met anyone else in the YouTube world that had that experience. So I'm really glad to hear you got a chance to chat with him too. He was a wonderful man. He really cared about his customers. CaneRod's feeling good these days in Fringinator, especially now that Friday's over. Uh-oh, Red. The wife smelled the Morley's best. He's in trouble now. Oh, Lee Van Cleef smoked Philosopher. I missed that, Ed. Gotcha. No worries, Ronnie. Gonna go see your dad in Florida. Hope you have a safe trip, buddy. Big Country Briar, hello. Just in from dinner. Had dinner with a friend whose husband. Oh, sorry to hear that, Cole. Ah, that's nice. And a bunch of Carter Hall. There you go. Are we all going to start talking third? Did I talk third person? I was just reading the question, Phil. Doug, why don't you just lose those in the back room and then make a killing in 5 years? Richie, I'm far from making that decision, buddy. Thank you for asking, but I gotta make at least 5 more billiards before I feel comfortable enough to even think about it. We do need more women smoking pipes, Kate. I agree with you. All right, Paul Johnson, have a great weekend, buddy. Cole's talking about a Lee Van Cleef song that I've never heard of, but these kids today and their songs. Do I have any life advice for the young CaneRods of America? Infringinator, we got like 2 minutes to go here. You don't want to get me started on that. I'm not reading that poem. I'll let Kate react to that. I'm not reading that. I don't know, Phil. Hey, hey, he's right here. I don't know how that would work. I'm not saying you smoke it, Doug. You sell it. But yeah, I get it. I get it. There are a few, Patrick, for sure. Yeah, Mark, that's similar. I mean, I wasn't new, but I was pretty I had blinders on in terms of what blend I wanted, and that's the same approach he took. And really smart marketing on his part, because now you got a personal connection with those blends and you're going to call back. The new Levada is doing just fine there, Ronnie. It's a nice pipe. Very nice pipe. Last tamp of the night indeed. There you go, Dry Fly Fisher. You summed it up nicely. I'm still got a little ways to go here, guys. Got a long weekend this week because of the Martin Luther King Jr. thing. So that's nice. Although it is going to snow, apparently. I started with this, didn't I? I started with a rant on the snow. And the furnace is coming on to wish us a good evening. All right, Armchair Piper, have a great weekend, buddy. Always good to see you, Ed. That's funny, Kate. My wife and I try to cook together, but we have such different styles that it's very stressful. Because my wife's style of cooking is to get out every pot we own and just make a gigantic mess. And my style of cooking is to try to have dinner finished around the same time as the dishes are done, so that all I have to do is clean up one pot and maybe two plates. But yeah, it's fun when we cook together. But it is fun. I have smoked the bottom of this bowl of Samson and Delilah. So Central Cal Piper's asking if anyone has big plans for the long weekend. I'm not making any plans. Just gonna let whatever happens happen, which largely means I'm gonna do whatever my wife tells me to do, and that's okay. She lets me do what I want to do for the most part, so she's allowed to tell me what to do once in a while. And next weekend, I'm still drinking. Next weekend is the Midwestern Tool Collectors Area P Cabin Fever event. I believe I got that right. In York, Pennsylvania. So if anybody's in the southeastern Pennsylvania area and is really interested in old tools, it's a great place to be. It'll be on Saturday, the 25th, and I'll be there. Probably buying saws. Ah, thank you, Infringinator. The feeling is mutual. Central Cal Piper's retiring next Friday. Congratulations, buddy. That is fantastic. But folks, we are going to draw this to a close. Thank you, Patrick. It's the highlight of my week as well. So I want to thank you all for joining me because it is the highlight of my week and it wouldn't be the same without you. It really wouldn't be the same without you. I'd be probably locked up for sitting in the basement talking to myself for 90 minutes. So we'll finish this up. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend, a great week ahead. If you got a long weekend, enjoy. And we'll be back with something on Sunday. I'll actually be giving you my impressions of the Samson and Delilah in a bit more depth on Sunday. And yeah, be back next Friday. So I look forward to seeing you then. Till then, take care. You all be good to yourselves and one another.